We have a couple of big tasks on our plate for today, but they're also small at the same time, so we thought we would include them. So the first thing we're doing is we are going to change our whole house filters. And I wanted to talk a little bit about something that has to do with gardening, a comment I made before, and I want to explain why we try as much as possible not to do raised beds. And then our goal of dealing with that in the future, it has to do with our groundwater. So we're getting started here. Aaron, it has drained the water throughout the whole house. It's in 5-gallon buckets right here. And then we also, Wyatt turned on all the spigots, the sinks and faucets and so on upstairs, and then let everything drain, because all of the water inside the house runs through these filters, and we cannot have just a massive gush of water would all come out of here. So power's off to it, the well pump is off, and then we're draining all the water. So we can get water out of that. That one is a little bit difficult. If you pop that off, the pressure tank would drain. It would be horrific. But that one is the one they put in for me, and I use it for all of the seeds starting in the winter time. So I actually have water and hoses down in the basement. No, it's all. All right, so we shut this off, and now Aaron's turned the power to the well back on. What did you say? In hopes of blasting some junk out of the bottom. So we're just trying to flush the pressure tank down here first.
Okay, open it all the way.
Open it all the way.
Yep.
It's off. It's out.
Shut it off.
Okay. It's off. The well's off again?
Yep. Alright, well, let's move this drain down.
Things happen when you go the right way.
Aaron, is that the right tool, or they make a tool for this?
They make a tool for this.
So show me this filter. That's the one I want to talk about. Oh, there's that. Bucket.
Okay, take a little water out of there and dump it in here.
This one's cleaner.
This one.
Let me see. Can I see down in there? You know there's a white girl. We're actually supposed to change our filters twice a year. And these have not honestly been changed in a year. And here's what I want to talk about with the gardening aspect. This is an extreme look into how much sediment is coming up out of our well. Show us the sediment filter. So this was the original sediment filter. It is pure white. This is black. The water coming out of there is black, and it's so full of different things. And what we had realized when I was taking my gardening class in college is the tops of the plants that I was watering. We were having an issue with what the soil looked like. So I took some samples in, and I was talking to my teacher, and the problem is when you water your garden with rainwater, or you live someplace that has really, really good groundwater, it's perfectly fine. But what can happen in certain instances, and we are one of those instances, is when you water with groundwater that isn't great. And the water that goes to the hose bibs comes straight out of our well. So it's like this, it's not ran through the filter system. What can happen when you put up sides, like metal sides and wood sides, is some of the material is bigger than the median that it is supposed to be passing through. and you can actually poison your plants over time because you're giving them so much ground mineral that they wouldn't get naturally or normally from an open water source like the lake or something like rainwater. So while I was talking, Aaron and Wyatt got this one. This is the iron filter.
So this one did its job, right?
Right.
And now, pull that one out and put it in the bucket too. Let's see how dirty that filter is.
Yeah, so the iron filter is
Catching sediment too.
catching sediment now because we waited so long on the sediment filter.
How dirty is it inside?
You want to know how I knew we had a problem? I went to get in the shower this morning. I said, Aaron, come here. You have to look at this. There was sand all over our shower, and I had just scrubbed the shower yesterday, and now the whole thing was covered in like black sand. And then our tile and everything starts turning red from the iron, and he had already purchased these, and he's like, we have to get on top of it today. So back to my wild garden story. For us, the reason we don't do a whole lot of raised beds is we run the risk of having to water from the hose and in very large amounts because Alaska is either really, really wet in the summer or it can be really, really dry. We do have a plan. We have a massive water tank that we're gonna build a stand for out by Peach's barn, and then it'll use gravity, and we will be able to take the water runoff from the barn and filter it into this massive water tank and then water the garden from there. And we also could pump water from the lake and use that. All in all, those things would be better for my plants than using the groundwater, simply based on the quality of our groundwater. Where you live may be perfectly fine.
Who's it? It should be.
Ooh. Just a little bit of water in the floor.
Those two filters.
Better and better as we go along. And that's it. After just a few minutes, Aaron has the filters changed. Although it's a big mess, we're gonna clean this up and then head upstairs to make dinner. It's a very expensive thing that we didn't know going into this home in particular. How much did they cost this time? 300?
300 something.
Cost just over $300 to change these filters, and it truly needs to be done every 6 months. I'm gonna head up and start making dinner, and they're gonna get water running back to the house to make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. I'm going to get the fire cider going really quick. It takes about 4 weeks for this to get done. Thank you, buddy.
Love you.
Love you. I'll see you in just a little bit. All right, I'll start dinner. So I also went and got all of the rest of the onions and scrubbed them and the purple off of what is left over. So I grew all of these onions and the garlic. And I went ahead and gave these an extra wash as well. Even though you can peel them, I'm just going to, because everything that we put in here, you drain out of the apple cider vinegar that we use. And so it's not a big deal. Aaron swears this is the reason that he's not sick. So to just get some stuff off my board, we have some habaneros, and the reason I didn't take it is it burned my stomach. So you can dilute it, and I would have to, but so 2 habaneros per batch. There's certain things that you put in fire cider, and there's an original recipe and a whole lot that goes into it. I didn't put onions in it the first time, and I don't know why, but maybe it's because I first learned of it from the Homestead channel, and I don't think they had onions in theirs either, but we're gonna put onions in it. This is not like a sweet cider. It is very tart and it is very pungent. Anywho, okay, so far I have 2 onions and 2 of the habaneros in that first jar. And then I'm just gonna duplicate everything into the second jar. So Aaron drank through it in about a month is what it took for him to go through the 2 jars. And then the 2 jars, the leftover liquid became about 1/2 gallon jar. While I finish making this fire cider, Aaron is changing the arsenic filter. We have a point of contact filter in the kitchen, and it is our drinking water. So I did 2 purple onions, and I'm gonna do 1 yellow onion in each jar. They're just real tiny, but they're what we have, and they are amazing. We grew them ourselves. And then I'm going to do 2 heads of garlic, and I'm just going to cut the garlic in half. We grew this garlic as well, and it is wonderful, wonderful stuff. So that's why I took the time to go ahead and scrub all the dirt, soak, and make sure everything is spotless. Look at those beautiful heads of garlic. All right, so far. Now to the jars, we have some ginger. I'm just gonna cut it just to expose some of it. These are the tiniest little nubs because that's what they had. So I grabbed whatever it is they have. The ginger that I freeze dried is really, really spicy, really, really strong. And I could definitely use that, but we can throw these in just as well. And then the last time we used turmeric, but this time we were able to get some turmeric root. I just want to take off any bad spots and then throw those in. We have a couple per, oh, it smells so good. So 1.5 little nubs of that per each. But let's just use up the rest of this ginger. The next root thing that it called for was horseradish. So I'm gonna just take the ends off. Oh my goodness, I went ahead and peeled this horseradish root, and I had no idea that it would smell almost sweet-like. Never been a big fan of horseradish. Aaron absolutely loves the stuff. So that's kind of bizarre. So we'll split this. Do it very even. Okay, split it between the jars. Looking good. Now onto our citrus. Right before we get to all the citrus, I am going to put 2 jalapenos. All right, now onto our citrus. So I'm gonna start with a lime. And so I'm just slicing it so that it can, if you leave it in halves, it takes up a little bit more space. A lime, let's go in with a lemon. And I super washed all these, got organic where I could. And the whole thing goes in. And then some blood orange. And to that, we're gonna do half of the rosemary, and then I'm gonna throw some more cram all of it down in. So there's the start of one jar. Let's do one more lime, and I think we can also get one more lemon in it. And then some black peppercorns, like that, a good palmful. And then I will link where I got this from in the notes underneath. So let's start on the other jar. I might be able to get, what happened?
Air.
Air, and it scared you?
It hit me in the face.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if that's on camera. Go ahead and do the peppercorn. Starting from the top, lime. I don't think I'm gonna try and get the other oranges in because I need to be able to get the apple cider vinegar in and put a weight in here to keep everything beneath the apple cider, and that's what keeps it from molding or mildew and going bad. So let me clean this up and we're gonna get the apple cider vinegar. It says walnuts, so you just reuse jars. So the quality of the vinegar is one of the top things, and I get this from Azure, the apple cider vinegar with the mother. Really, really good stuff. And I'll leave a link to Azure as well. And it tastes and smells a lot different than what you get at like Costco or the store. And so it took a little bit of getting used to, but this is really, really good stuff, really strong. And you need the best quality vinegar that you can get in order for something like this to actually work. So you're kind of making a cold and flu preventative or remedy, and the best way of doing that is the highest quality things that you possibly can. And that is why we're trying our best and being really, really careful and cautious of what we put in here. So that is 8 cups. I don't know where my chopstick went. Okay, so I'm gonna just poke around and try to remove all the air I can and get as much vinegar in this as I possibly can. Okay. And then now onto the second beautiful jar. So what happens after this ferments for about 4 weeks? We want to get as close to that as we can. You then add a half of a cup is what I did per half gallon. So it ended up a whole half gallon. So I did half of a cup in the half gallon jar that the liquid ended up in. And it adds a little bit of sweetness and then some other properties as well. We get some weights. So I like to use these fermentation weights, and you just push them down. The peppercorns float up, but I want to keep like the herbs and the fruits and the different things from coming to the top, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put lids on these, but I'm going to burp them and then kind of shake them around almost every day. So whenever I think about it, I set them in the pantry where it's dark and then have them right where one of my working surface areas is, and then I'm able. So just pop lids on these 4 weeks, and then we add honey to it, strain all of it out. You can toss or feed your chickens or whatever. The scraps, you can put it in the compost. And then the way that Aaron takes it, that was the question. He uses a shot glass. I always put up the shot glasses for the videos because of like, people are gonna think that we just sit around taking shots all the time. Not that I'm telling you what to do, but he'll leave them like sitting up here. So he just literally takes an actual shot of it every day. After we add the honey and strain it out and he's taking the shots, we just store it in the refrigerator. Once or twice a day, he takes a shot of this. Now you could dilute it in water, do a whole bunch of different things, but that is all that he did. And I got super sick, and he did this twice a day during my cold, and he got nothing from me. So he thought it worked pretty amazingly. Pause for dramatic effect. Erin turned on our shower. That is what's coming out. That is absolutely disgusting. And to think that's going on your hair, your skin, in your clothes, through your washing machine, all of your appliances. All right, we are gonna get going on the pork loin. I went ahead and brined these. Erin was gonna smoke them, but there is horrible storms coming through. The wind is really bad, and so we didn't put these on the smoker, so they're gonna go in the oven instead. And so just a little mustard binder. I'm gonna season them up and then cover them in bacon. And we're gonna start them at a 400-degree oven and then turn it down to 325 until the internal temp is 145. Having brined these for a good portion, and then I just soaked them in clean, just plain water afterwards before we went down and did all of the filter stuff. The pork can cook at a little higher temperature and it's gonna stay nice and tender, but it needs a lot of seasoning. So this Blanco, Erin pulled out, it's kind of like salt, spices, which are dehydrated garlic, onion, salt, pepper, just a very, very basic. And then the other one, we're gonna do the Voodoo, which in our opinion is one of the very best meat church seasonings. Oh, yep, he bought a new one when we were, what were we shopping for that day?
No.
It was Christmas.
Cody's mixer.
Cody's mixer. We got Cody a new mixer and some stuff for, she's learning to make sourdough. And when we were in the kitchen store together, doing some shopping, went ahead and this is the only place you can get it in well, you can get it at some other stores, but the local place we could get it is the kitchen supply store.
I did get it at the thing, but we found it at Lowe's too.
Erin found this at Lowe's, the home improvement store. Okay, so apparently you can get it a lot of places. So I have some, Erin, this is not the bacon I can have. I can put this one on the Voodoo. So this is the bacon I can't have. So we'll put it on the pork loin that I'm on Whole30. So I'm just cutting out sugars and grains and some different things, but my family is not. And so we try to make meals that are very normal that everyone can have. So we'll do this. Can you get me the sugar-free bacon out for this one?
Oh,
I opened it and I was like, this is not what my bacon normally looks like. All right, here we go.
Is that it?
Yep. Yep. Okay, this was the bacon I was looking for, the sugar-free one. So it's like salt and some spices, and that is it, is how they cured this one. So I can have that. It does look a bit different. I put these on a cookie sheet on my new, Erin's like, my baking sheets just look so terrible. And this is why I bake things at high temperatures for long times and do all of that. But anywho, I did foil line it so we're not ruining it right off the bat to catch the drippings off of everything. And then, yeah. Yeah, might as well finish this up, huh? I don't worry too terribly much. I'm doing it to just for gut health, not weight loss, not any of those things, just to feel better. And so if things touch, I'm not worried about it. We're just not going to be those people. It just doesn't work very long to be that way in our house. All right, in at 400 for about 10 minutes, then I'm gonna turn down to 350 until it reaches 145. So we had that pork loin in there, I think since the summer. It was in the freezer. So we are working our way through the different meats. The only animal that we have not been able to process ourselves, and we're hoping to change that, is pork. So we still buy all of our pork, but man, won't that be fantastic the day that we have that as well. And then I think we'll have made it completely where we can grow all of our own protein, hunt and fish and those different things. So I'm slicing into one of the pineapples that we got at Costco because I thought Erin won't eat it like savory as like a slaw, but Cody is on her way out and she definitely will. And so I thought, oh, that would be good to do like a pineapple broccoli slaw because I have some leftover broccoli. It's just the grated broccoli and carrots. And I thought, okay, that'll be great. And so then I will just cut a bunch of the pineapple and then Erin will put it in baggies and take it for lunch. He likes it just straight. So kind of our goal is to eat a little bit healthier, do a little bit better, and also use up things in our pantry. And then only grocery shop for the things that we don't have, but to make meals by buying fresh fruits and vegetables, whatever we need like that, out of what's in the pantry. So we canned up some of these jalapeno beans. They're Erin's favorite. That's gonna be a side dish with the pork. Then I'm going to do the broccoli slaw. The broccoli with pineapples. And I thought, good way to use up some of these onions. I need to get these onions used in the next week or so that we're not losing food. Another good way. So that's it. That's how I clean a pineapple. I cut the outsides off, and then I cut it in half, then in quarters, lay it on its side, and cut out that hard center, and that's it. I think, I'll look it up, but I think chickens can eat the insides of pineapple. So that'll go in the chicken bowl, if they can have it. Right, so I think I'm going to only use, oh, gotta rinse it out, a quarter of this for the slaw. So 1 part for munching, and then we'll do 1 part of it for the slaw, but I want to chop it pretty small. Total wrong knife. The handles all look the same. All right, I'm gonna find a couple of little purple onions, red onions, so I think they're better raw. And I have some coleslaw dressing already mixed up because Mom and I had ate some of the broccoli slaw earlier this week. This is that broccoli slaw I was talking about. So the onions, the pineapple. I have a couple of sweet potatoes that need to get used, so I just pierced them and I'm just gonna toss them in on the rack down here. And then turn it down to the 350. And then just let those bake alongside of it, and I think that'll be a really good starch instead of throwing some bread or something like that. So we'll have beans and slaw and fruit and pork and some potatoes. I think it'll be perfect. I put a little barbecue sauce in this one and a little Cholula on this one because all the barbecue sauces we have sugar in them.
That's for real, just a little Cholula.
Yeah.
Just a dash.
That's all we have. Alright, so that's what's for dinner. We're gonna do it with the coleslaw that I made, the fruit. I heated up the beans for Aaron, but it looks beautiful. The pork does. It is. This is one of our favorite things. Look at that one.
Mom, Dad's eating pretzels before dinner.
Give it.
Right?
Your dinner's ready. Okay, so with that, we're gonna go eat. Give this a nice slice. You want to slice it, babe, for the camera?
You put on the bacon?
That one has Cholula on it. This one, I made for you, has a barbecue.
That one out. Pepper and go potty.
Come on.
Pepper and.
Nice.
Come on. I'll say it. What'd you put on this one?
This one's voodoo and barbecue sauce.
Why you cut it too big?
I try to cut with the bacon. All right, so we're gonna go eat. Thanks for joining us today. With that, we hope you have a fantastic week. We hope to see you in the next video. We hope that you are blessed, and I hope you find some family time, something to be grateful for. This was just a little day in the life, some of the things we had going on the homestead. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, you get notifications. Thumbs up, comments, and sharing videos all help our channel to grow. We greatly appreciate those of you that do those things. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video.